Jax is one of the most popular and beloved characters in the amazing digital circus, surrounded by many theories and secrets. In this video, I'll give a final summary of what we know about Jax, how his behavior has changed, and what's in store for him next. So we finally got the new episode, and now we know that Jax just keeps getting worse. And in this video, I'm going to break down why that's happening, why they tied him up, and what's next for him. It all started from the very first scene where everyone's watching what's going to happen to Pomni when she holds her breath.
I can't hold it any longer.
Sure you can. We can't die from oxygen deprivation, remember?
But it still feels like I'm gonna die.
Try not thinking about it. Or you could toughen up. I want to see what your funny cartoon body does.
Hey, take it easy.
Oh, take it easy. That's you.
As you can see, Jax is super eager to find out what'll happen to her at that moment.
All right, we've entered the blue zone.
Hey, there's something new.
Okay, we're getting red,
Oh, orange.
yellow.
Green.
After he explained why Pomni's doing it, we found out one of Jax's secrets. He's a total coward, even though he tries to act all tough.
Gangle's mask starts spinning, and Zooble turns straight.
My limbs straighten up and fuck off.
What about you?
He refuses to show us because he's a coward.
I want to keep the mystery alive.
But longtime viewers remember that Jax has been a coward since way back, in the pilot episode when he first met Kaufmo.
I've been looking for this. Thanks for keeping an eye on it, Coffee. I'm gonna head out. See ya.
And in the earlier episodes, we've already noticed a bunch of times that Jax breaks the fourth wall. Some people believed it, while others thought he was looking at someone from the digital circus, but now it's all clear.
What do you, the viewers, think it is?
Will you stop doing that?
By this point, I kind of figured Jax wasn't going to turn into a good friend or anything like that. He's just going to keep showing off his mean streak and dumb jokes. Turns out I was right, but this might just be the tip of the iceberg, and they're probably hiding even more from us. Since the pilot episode, Jax has treated Pomni like the newcomer who's super easy to bully.
Kane, is this one of your NPCs or is this a new sucker? Because if it's a new character, we're gonna have to redo this whole theme song.
It happened in the second episode too, and now it's just more of the same. Pay attention to how Ragatha is really understanding about Pomni's fear and problems. Meanwhile, Jax hears all of this and, once again, takes an already bad situation and makes it really terrible.
I'm not really a fan of horror, and I don't really handle jump scares that well.
Ah, come on, that wasn't even scary. What? You scared of the vacuum cleaner too?
Hey, be nice to her. She's had a rough couple of days.
Her and everyone else. Right, Gangle?
Before we move on, let's take a moment to remember what Zooble said about Jax during the therapy session.
Jax just likes to fuck with everybody.
And while Zooble's words might seem obvious, after all, who better than her to know how annoying Jax can be?
If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Ooh, a new AI. You don't want to mess with the new AI, Zuby?
Yeah, no.
They still perfectly capture the mood of how everyone in the digital circus feels about him. The third episode just confirms it even more. Back in the second episode, we already saw that Jax really thrives on violence and chaos.
Well, maybe there will be blood, death, and violence in the next adventure.
Ha 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 ha, how wholesome. Oh, hey, maybe I didn't leave the gate unlocked for nothing after all.
What? I thought he was dead. You still did that? Okay, wait. You did what now?
Well, love to help you again sometime. Bye!
And it's no secret that Gangle is his favorite target. But it's in the third episode where things really take a turn for the worse. The first adventure took place in the digital circus, and the second one was in the friendly Candy Kingdom. But when Jax decided to stir up chaos in Mildenhall Manor, that was just too much. Everyone was already freaked out and unsure of what to expect from this creepy place. And here comes Jax, adding even more trouble just for his own fun.
Hi, I'm Ghostly, and I'll be your guide today. You to the
What? Jax!
What? I thought we were supposed to capture all the ghosts.
Which door should we choose?
Not sure. Let's try this out. Oh, that's the scary door.
remembering everything Jax did during the adventures.
I happen to know a way into the kingdom walls, if you'd be willing to help us out in return.
Somehow Ragatha and Gangle managed to tie him up so he couldn't cause any more harm in the manor. It's doubtful they did it on their own, and it's more likely that Martha Mildenhall helped them out during the conversation, where we saw just how frustrated Jax can get when he's restricted. And that's just a small part of what this scene reveals about Jax. After you watch it, I'll tell you something that many people might have missed.
Always having the silliest priorities.
Don't I know it?
If your friends see him, I only hope he doesn't bore them to death with his endless monologues. That man could turn a 57-second story into a Greek tragedy. Feel free to visit anytime.
Definitely.
Congratulations, my little ironclad waffle cones! You've taken the pacifist route, and you should be proud of what good people you are. Unfortunately, we still need to wait until your other teammates finish their adventure before I can grant you permission to leave.
I wonder how long that'll be.
Jax was really unhappy from the moment he got tied up, and his return to the digital circus wasn't as cheerful as in the previous episode.
Don't ever call us that again.
When Kane said they couldn't go back to the digital circus without Pomni and Kinger, Jax's frustration only grew. It's like he just doesn't get why he has to wait for the others or why anyone's telling him what to do. Pomni and Kinger's adventure went on for about 5 minutes, and since there were almost no cuts, that means about 7 to 10 minutes passed in the digital circus. And during that time, Jax's expression just got more and more annoyed.
What happened up here?
Don't worry about that.
Pomni was very brave. At least I think she was.
Thanks for always being concerned about me. I feel like, through everything, I haven't really been appreciative enough about that.
Oh, thank you, Pomni. I just want to make sure you're doing all right. You know, we care about you.
Did you remember to get my comedy mask?
Jax couldn't care less about how the others' adventure went, because his main issue at that moment was that he didn't get to mess with anyone or have any fun with his chaos in the new adventure. Plus, Ragatha's words about how everyone is worried about Pomni didn't sit well with Jax at all. He made it clear that he doesn't care how anyone feels. In the previous episode, right before Kaufmo's funeral, we saw Jax looking kind of upset, like he was bothered no one invited him. But now, it's obvious. He wasn't upset about that. He was just bummed he didn't get to pull off something funny at that moment. As for the funeral, or anything else for that matter, he couldn't care less. Also, the final scene is definitely worth mentioning.
So what was it like being stuck with the nutcase?
It wasn't that bad, actually.
Approaching Pomni with his usual sarcasm, Jax was definitely expecting a response like, "That was just awful. He's really a nutcase." Or, "What's the point of talking to him when he doesn't get anything? He almost destroyed me." But when he got a positive response instead, Jax realized that his jokes and teasing weren't landing like they used to, and that really upset him. With each episode, we're learning more and more about Jax, and I really dig it. He's that anti-hero you need in any successful show, but the fact that the further we go, the less his words or actions affect the other characters, and now it's not just Zubul, but everyone else who can stand up to him. This definitely doesn't sit well with One Purple Bunny. The second episode showed us Jax's true desires, but in episode 3, that stopped working, which means episode 4 is shaping up to be really rough. And with the new episode focusing on Gangle, who is Jax's favorite target, we're gonna see all his antics come back with a vengeance, making episode 2 seem pretty harmless by comparison. But there's a chance that this behavior from the others could actually break Jax, since the only thing keeping him afloat is his rough attitude towards everyone. If that disappears, what's the point of him even leaving his room? What if Jax starts losing it from boredom? And by the 6th episode, we see something all too familiar. Many leaks are practically shouting that Jax will become a victim in the new episode of The Amazing Digital Circus, and that's truly intriguing. But we'll find out exactly what happens to Jax and why he's so dissatisfied in the next part. Episode 4 is definitely going to blow our minds, because even though it's going to focus on Gangle, we'll finally get to see what Jax's behavior leads to and what Kane's going to do about him. The first 3 episodes and even some of Gooseworx's posts have been practically screaming at us about this. But first, let's take a moment to remember what went down with Jax in episode 3.
Always having the silliest priorities.
Don't I know it?
If your friends see him, I only hope he doesn't bore them to death with his endless monologues. That man could turn a 57-second story into a Greek tragedy.
And if you think tying up and gagging Jax was the ultimate humiliation, just wait till you see how he moved around Mildenhall Manor. All of this is crucial for understanding what's going to happen to Jax in episode 4.
Feel free to visit anytime.
Definitely.
Congratulations, my little ironclad waffle cones! You've taken the pacifist route, and you should be proud of what good people you are. Unfortunately, we still need to wait until your other teammates finish their adventure before I can grant you permission to leave.
I wonder how long that'll be.
Looking back at the announcement of Season 1 of The Amazing Digital Circus, we realize we've already seen almost everything that was teased, and the only new character left is Orbsman, who runs the fast food joint Spudsy's. And since Goose and Glitch have been showing us things in order, it's pretty much a fact that Episode 4 will focus entirely on this location. By the way, there's a theory that we'll get to see that stadium, but that's for another video. We also see that Jax is one of Orbsman's subordinates.
And let's not forget about minimum wage labor!
But why does this happen to Jax in Episode 4, you ask? Well, it's actually pretty simple. The answer is Zooble. She's the one who will play a key role in making Jax experience all the joys of the Digital Circus adventures. Everyone knows there's something unusual between these two characters.
And Zooble turned straight.
My limbs straighten up. Fuck off.
What about you?
He refuses to show us because he's a coward.
I want to keep the mystery alive. If there was a way to leave, I'm pretty sure we'd have all left by now.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Ooh, a new AI. You don't want to mess with the new AI, Zuby?
Yeah, no. Wait, Pomni's not even here? Wasn't this whole thing for her?
Be quiet. I can't hear the escalator.
And don't forget what she said about him during the therapy session.
Jax just likes to fight with everybody.
Remember one of Gooseworx' posts on Tumblr where Goose straight up said that Zooble's best look will be in episode 4? That means there's a good chance Kane actually listened to Zooble's problem.
It's me, remember? I don't like myself. I hate this body. I hate all these stupid removable pieces. I just want to find something that feels good.
No one knows what Kane and Zooble talked about from that moment up until the final therapy scene. And since Kane fully opened up to Zooble, it's likely he now considers her a friend, which means he might actually fulfill some of her requests beyond just fixing her body. Zooble genuinely cares about everyone else, and she's definitely not a fan of what's happening when Jax starts his jokes and bullying again.
Ladies first. No, wait, why would I say that?
Don't exactly...
You can't.
What?
Shut up, Jax.
Based on what Kane does, it's clear that Zooble asked him to somehow punish Jax, and Kane was able to fulfill her request. With his behavior, Jax has turned not only all the residents of the Digital Circus against him,
What happened up here?
Don't worry about that.
but he also seems to have caught Kane's attention as the biggest troublemaker getting in the way of everyone enjoying their new adventures.
Hey, Gangle. You should ram into him.
What?
You should not ram them. Pomni's still on board.
Do it. It'll be epic.
Why are there so many knives back here?
Do it, or I'll tell Ragatha about the figurine thing.
You to the
Why, Jax?
What? I thought we were supposed to capture all the ghosts.
Which door should we choose?
Not sure. Let's try this out.
Kane asked Zooble to keep a closer eye on Jax, which was hinted at in one of Gooseworx' posts. Now let's discuss what exactly is going to happen to Jax in the new episode, and whether it'll help the other residents of the Amazing Digital Circus live more peacefully and actually enjoy their new adventures, instead of waiting for Jax to pull some new stunt.
As I was saying, I happen to know a way into the Kingdom Walls, if you'd be willing to help us out in return.
Hey, when did you...
Shut up, Licorice Hair. Oh, hey, maybe I didn't leave the gate unlocked for nothing after all.
What? I thought he was dead. You still did that?
Okay, wait. You did what now?
Well, love to help you again sometime. Bye!
We already know for sure that Spudsy's will be the main location for the adventure in episode 4, and that Orbsman will be the manager everyone hates and fears. As we can understand, each character will have their own job, and Jax along with Gangle will end up at this fast food joint. Gangle will definitely be there for 2 reasons. First, Episode 4 will reveal more about her since she's the main character of this episode. Second, Gangle suffers the most from Jax's jokes and bullying. So, Kane decided to shake things up a bit, and now Gangle will be the character who bullies and makes Jax's life difficult, while Orbsman, as the main NPC of the new episode, will help her with that. Let's not forget Gummy Goo, who gained self-awareness and broke out of the usual NPC mold.
I'm not sure. Because we are not, NPCs?
NPCs, what are you on about? What am I? Where's Mum?
You have a mom?
Shouldn't she be here with everyone else? I can't even remember her face. Did she ever have a face? Was anything ever real?
Okay, wait, don't think about that.
This means that any so-called main NPC can potentially do this. Despite the constant advancements in technology to protect against NPC infiltration, the NPCs themselves are also getting better. This suggests that Orbsman could very well gain self-awareness, and after hearing about all of Jax's actions, he's likely to get really angry, which is bad news for Jax but good for everyone else. Let's recall the musical adventure where we saw some shampoo with Orbsman's image. That's probably a hint about what Jax will be up to. In this case, we can think of the shampoo as a floor cleaner, so Jax will be cleaning floors at Spudsy's, and the floors will somehow always be dirty. But I think Orbsman and Gangle won't stop there. Jax will be a janitor, a dishwasher, a cashier, and a waiter dealing with the most awful customers. In the announcement, Kane mentioned a minimum wage, which means each character will get a monetary reward for this adventure that they'll need in town to buy something. Everyone will receive a nice sum, of course, except for Jax. This will show him the unfairness of the world, and that his attitude toward others has been completely wrong. At least that's how Kane envisioned it. But will this actually fix Jax, or will he just continue to create chaos? But before that, let me explain why I'm so sure that Orbsman will gain self-awareness. The episode is focused on Gangle, so we'll learn about all her feelings and thoughts. But since only Jax, Gangle, and Orbsman will be in this location, Gangle will need to talk to a living being to vent, not just an NPC. Since Jax will be busy, this will fall to the upgraded Orbsman. Now we have an idea of what will happen to Jax in the new episode. It's time to discuss whether Kane and the others can fix Jax, or if he'll forever remain the nasty character who disrupts everyone's lives. After the events of episode 4, Jax will seriously reflect on what he's been doing wrong, and for a while, everyone's lives will improve. But if we remember one of Gooseworx's posts, we'll understand that Jax isn't just acting out for no reason. He's genuinely mentally ill, and his behavior is a result of all the trauma he's experienced in the digital circus before the pilot episode and in real life. It's important to note that after this adventure, everyone else will be able to learn how to interact with Jax, and he won't be as much of a problem for them as he used to be, especially for Gangle, who will realize that this rabbit isn't as invulnerable as he might have seemed before. I believe episode 4 will be the turning point where we start to see the real Jax, but his behavior probably won't change much, as Gooseworx's words pretty much confirm this. We'll find out soon, since episode 4 is already about 60 to 70% complete. And before we reach the final conclusion, let's revisit one of the most popular theory about Jax and take a closer look at it in detail. Let's start by remembering where this theory came from. In the second episode, something happened that completely changed everyone's understanding of the digital circus. Gummy Goo gained self-awareness.
What am I? Where's Mum?
You have a mom?
Shouldn't she be here with everyone else? I can't even remember her face. Did she ever have a face? Was anything ever real?
Okay, wait, don't think about that.
That's where all the nonsense about Jax being an NPC started. Even though many details point to this, there are several facts that completely destroy this theory. I'll walk you through all the situations that support this theory, and then I'll show you what completely debunks it. After that, you can share your thoughts in the comments. All the residents of the digital circus retain their human traits when they enter the tent, while Jax stands out as completely different from an ordinary person. He shows no empathy, no compassion, no kindness, and the only things that bring him joy are chaos, bullying, and violence.
I'm so unbelievably disappointed right now.
Well, maybe there'll be blood, death, and violence in the next adventure.
Ha 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 ha, how wholesome.
They broke my comedy mask.
So, Kane, we having a new adventure today for the newbie or what? Oh, hey, maybe I didn't leave the gate unlocked for nothing after all.
What? I thought he was dead. You still did that? Okay, wait. You did what now?
Well, love to help you again sometime. Bye!
Bold leaks of the characters' rooms also added fuel to this theory. Every resident of the digital circus is shown inside their room, and while Kinger's so-called room seems strange to us at first, we now understand why he spends all his free time inside his fortress. Jax's room looks a bit odd. More precisely, there isn't really a room at all. We see Jax standing in front of the door to his room, but inside is just digital static. When a new character enters the digital circus, Kane immediately creates a room for them, as we saw with Pomni, but Jax doesn't have one at all. This only added to the curiosity surrounding this theory. Another strange trait of Jax was noticeable in both the pilot and second episode.
She still thinks this is a dream.
Yeah, no.
What do you, the viewers, think it is?
Will you stop doing that?
He's the only one who can break the fourth wall. It's as if he knows this is a show, because that's how Kane made him. He constantly tries to hint at this or mock the others because of it. But in episode 3, there was another strange moment involving Jax.
Why am I the one doing this? Why not one of you guys?
Because something different happens with each person. For instance, Kinger starts glowing, Ragatha's hair noodles stick up, Gangle's mask starts spinning, and Zubul turns straight.
My limbs straighten up and f*** off.
What about you?
He refuses to show us because he's a coward.
I want to keep the mystery alive.
We learned what happens to each character during the breath-holding challenge. To everyone, except Jax. He cleverly avoided showing his talent, which raised a new question. Why does Jax refuse to reveal his so-called superpower? Maybe it's because he's not an ordinary person who ended up in the digital circus by accident, but an NPC who simply doesn't have any special talent since Kane didn't program him that way. Let's go back to the start of the theory. Gloink's queen, Fudge Monster, Gummy Goo and his gang, Baron Mildenhall. They're all villains in Kane's adventures, but only Gummy Goo gained self-awareness. What if Jax was once a negative NPC created for a specific adventure and somehow managed to sneak into the digital circus? Maybe he even managed to get Kane to like him. That's how Jax became part of the circus alongside everyone else, but his main difference is that he still operates based on a programmed script, causing trouble for the others.
Which door should we choose?
Not sure. Let's try this out.
Is that well?
Ha! Come on, that wasn't even scary. What? You scared of the vacuum cleaner too?
Hey, be nice to her.
This might explain why Jax left Kaufmo's funeral ceremony, at least because he can't feel the emotions that are natural for all humans. Oh my god, I almost believed that Jax is an NPC because it all sounds so convincing. But there's always a catch. Let's remember one of Gooseworx leaks, where they showed the ages of all the characters, and Jax is included in that list. I couldn't find another leak where Goose said that Kane and Bubble don't have ages, because they're AIs. And even this, some people try to doubt, saying, Gooseworx couldn't have excluded Jax from the list, and that this doesn't prove Jax is human. That sounds like complete nonsense. Gooseworx wrote this long before this theory even existed, and Jax was always intended to be human. Also, let's head over to Netflix, where we read, a woman gets trapped in a bizarre circus-themed virtual world with 5 other people and is forced to play games under the direction of a wacky AI. Here's another piece of proof that Jax isn't an NPC. And as for his behavior, that's just ridiculous. Haven't you ever met truly awful people who only care about chaos and enjoy bullying the weaker ones? I hope now you understand that Jax is human and will stop spreading this nonsense online. In conclusion, it's safe to say that this character truly stands out as the most unique of all. He combines both the viewer's love and hate, which clearly captivates everyone else. Episode 4 will definitely be one of the most interesting for us, if only because of what might happen to Jax and the consequences that follow. And with that, our video comes to a successful close. Share your thoughts about Jax in the comments.